seeker. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How's it going today, friend? My name is Talia Joy. Welcome to my cozy little corner of the internet. Pull up a beanbag chair, bring your favorite coffee, bring your favorite chocolate. Let's settle in. Today we are talking about the process of going through a big shift. It's part of the awakening journey. It's part of the manifestation journey, the self-growth journey. It can be a huge shift in your life where everything seems to change, or it could be where you need to really shift one area of life. This is what we're talking about today, and we're going to go in and out of manifestation teachings and self-growth teachings and you as a soul evolving teachings. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited that you're here. Before we dive in, hi, everybody. If you are new, welcome. My name is Talia Joy. I am so excited that you are here. On this show, we talk about all things awakening, manifestation, self-growth, everything I was just mentioning. We also talk about developing your intuition, tuning into your soul's purpose, and truly becoming all you're meant to be in this lifetime. So excited that you are here. And if you don't know, I have a second podcast. It is called On the Path, and it is where I break down the work step by step. There's no fluff. It is practices and tools if you're looking to create a daily practice. It also has access to my entire methodology from beginning to end. So understanding healing and getting unblocked and quantum manifestation and moving forward and all the stuff broken down in audio trainings. That is a podcast you're going to want to check out called On the Path. The link is below for that. It's a private subscription community, so it's not available on your regular app when you search until you register, and then you will be able to access it on your regular app that you use for all podcasts. And you'll have me in your back pocket giving you practices. We have monthly challenges, deep dive episodes, weekly assignments, and so much more. On the Path is really the place to be if you're ready to take this to the next step and go through self-growth, where I teach you how to manifest the life that you're here for. Okay, so today's episode is one that I have a bunch of things I want to say, but I also am going through my own massive shift that we will see how much I end up sharing. I'm going to kind of leave that open. But first, I want to talk about how in this lifetime, we are always evolving and shifting and growing, right? You're clearly not the same person you were when you were 6 or 16 or 25 or whatever, right? You're always growing and changing. And the process of manifestation mirrors the process of transformation. This is also the process of awakening. It's all the same thing where we start in one place and we basically ascend to higher ground, or we shift, we evolve, we change, right? We're moving forward, we're growing, we're unfurling. So we start at A, and where we want to get to is B. And so that process in between is the shift, is the refinement, is the goo, right? I talk about the goo phase on this show a lot. And that's because the goo phase is the in-between. So we are always going through shifts. However, I know my community, and when you guys say to me, like, I'm going through a massive shift, I know that it's not just you're like, same old, you're always shifting and growing. It's like big shit is changing. Big things within you, who you are, your identity, the things you're into, maybe your career, your desires, things are shifting. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So for those of you that are new, I am an intuitive channel. So I speak to spirit. Yes, I hear voices. Clairaudient is one of my dominant intuitive types. So through all my years with my own intuitive channel, but then I'll be real, working with people has been the part that has really sped up the gifts, because before that, I was just accessing the information for me when I felt like it, when I would go into my practice. And then when I started doing it about 5 years ago, more like channeling for my clients, more on the spot, more just basically allowing spirit to speak through me, I started learning so much faster, because my clients have the same types of questions that I have, and the same types of we're feeling stuck in something, or we can't see what's blocking us, or we want to ascend to this higher place, but it scares us, all these things. And I'm constantly and continually receiving this wisdom for my clients, for myself. It just has become the channel that moves through me. And that's a lot of what I'm sharing today, is what I've seen through the messages that I've received, if that makes sense. So when we are going through, and I'm just going to zero in on how I said it's not just your vague shifting, vague transformation. It's like everything has shifted. That is basically an awakening. And an awakening can happen very suddenly. Something can happen that shoves you into an awakening, or it can be this giant period of life. And once you start to awaken, I look at it like, if we're going to use the metaphor of awake and asleep, it's like we're asleep, we're kind of in the matrix, we've been programmed heavily by our culture, our upbringings, our parents, society in general. We have certain beliefs about things, and we kind of think that's the way that it is, right? Like, oh, I have to settle down and do this, or I got to pick a, secure career. We in some ways feel limited. I can't be too much. I can't dress how I really want to dress, or be who I really want to be, because I need to fit in. Even if it's from our parents who maybe were lovely people, but it's kind of like, you got to do this, and this is what you should do in the real world. And we learn to not really be who we are, and kind of snuff that stuff out. And let's give ourselves credit. We're like teenagers, and then in our 20s, and I don't know about you, but I was a freaking mess. So none of us generally are gurus and wise. We haven't gone through our Saturn return yet. We haven't, gone through that life experience. So we've just been kind of doing shit on autopilot. And then the time comes when something happens where there's this big energetic disconnect. So I see energy, and how I can describe it is like where you're headed and what you're evolving into comes calling so strong, but who you are is still back in A, if we're going to call it A, and then you ascend into B, the end result, or the end of the shift, or whatever. So you're still here, but who you are becoming calls so hard that disconnect becomes so uncomfortable that we choose, if you're an older soul, if you're here for ascension and transformation, which you are, we choose to make a massive shift in our lives. So you're going along your life, and you pick up certain habits and ideas and thoughts and beliefs and patterns, and all of a sudden, you have a deep shift, or a deep calling to shift. And sometimes, if you're like me, I was in drugs and alcohol and numbing, and I was in an eating disorder, and I just I knew deep down I didn't want to live this way, but every day I kept doing the same stuff, whether it was the disordered patterns and truly harming myself, toxic substances, anxiety, control, just panic all the time. And I basically got to a point where I could not go on that way. And the deep knowing that I was meant for more was burning inside. So my dysfunction was burning at the same time as my need and knowing that I'm here for more was burning. And the day comes, and this is the quote I love from Anonymous Nin, and the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more than the risk it took to blossom. So sometimes it's like me, where I crash and burn and self-destruct until I realize I can't go on like that anymore. But other times, something will crumble, a marriage crumbles, you lose a job or a career, or maybe you even get the things you thought you wanted, like you have a partner and kids and you think you should be happy, but something deep down feels unfulfilled. Maybe it's a mental pattern. Maybe you got really good at numbing or stuffing it down, and all of a sudden you can't do that anymore. There's so many circumstances that can lead to an awakening. But ultimately, you as a soul came here to evolve and shift and grow. So the human you also needs to, evolve and shift and grow. So again, when our soul knows what we're here for, And you are the type of person that came to fulfill your soul's purpose, that came to manifest and create a magical life. So that knowing, as time ticks on, grows stronger and stronger and stronger, if you know what I mean. And the realization of either, this career isn't fulfilling, or I'm in the wrong relationship, or, I'm just not happy, what's going on? That thing, that realization, that niggle becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. And it's your inner being calling you to hopefully shift, to hopefully see. It usually involves some healing work, some self-growth work, which is then why you're often led, right, to maybe it was shadow work, or maybe it was nervous system somatics, or inner child work, or maybe you went to therapy, you started addressing things, or you're being called now to start addressing deeper things. That is a giant awakening. Everything I'm describing is like you're going through an awakening. And even if you've been going through it for 10 years, I look at it like once you start, you're kind of always now on the awakening path. It's like I don't just like do yoga and meditate for like a bit. It's like what I do now. The self-growth work, the introspection, the self-awareness. Now that you've been cracked open, there's no going back to the darkness. And P.S., would you want to? No. Even though this one is hard and you can feel like the black sheep in your family and your community and nobody's like you and what the heck's the matter with me? Why aren't I happy with what, I should be happy? Or even you have these big dreams and you can't seem to step into them, like these frustrations. It's not easy over here in the light. It's not easy, but it is the path that your soul chose for you. It is the path that you're here for. So going on this analogy of like A is your old life or what you're moving out of, what you have moved out of, and B is where you're headed. Even if we just look at this chunk of life right now, the evolution you're going through. So we can't have both at once. So when you desire more abundance, more love, more inner peace, more joy, more health, the things that are going on currently in your subconscious or in your physical reality, they will come to the surface because Source loves you so much that they want you to be able to release the things that are continually harming you or holding you back. So they just showed me the visual of like you're riding a bike, but you keep running over like boards with nails in them. So your tires keep being flat. And then you're like, okay, I just need to ride the bike better. And if I ride the bike harder, if I learn how to ride it more steady. And it's like at the end of the day, someone needs to remove the nails, the boards. You need to remove that or it's going to be the same thing over and over. Those things that are harming you, and I'm not just talking about that you have to like get rid of all processed food or all this and that. It's more like the belief you're not good enough, the resentment you hold, the powerlessness that you feel, the fear that you have around, going into your next level, the fear of being seen, the fear of being really freaking wealthy, the fear of what it may take, all the stuff we go through. That's the stuff that comes up through our shit. So when we're triggered, when we are going through a big shift and you're like, oh my God, like I'm being asked to let go of friendships or things that I loved so much. Maybe you're being asked to go into totally new things and it's scary. Shifting dynamics, shifting identities. Again, it's not easy. But what I want to bring your attention to is that it's a refinement process. You, on a soul level and a human level, are asking for more of life. You're asking for more magic. You're asking for more fullness, more health, more, abundance, all that stuff. That is going to require some sort of letting go. In the process of transformation, it's not just about reaching for higher and doing more. It's about releasing where you were. So sometimes that's the past. Sometimes that's the habits that just do not serve you anymore. The things that keep you stuck or small. And it's not even stuck or small. I take that back. I know I could edit it out, but whatever. It's more that those patterns keep you in one plane of existence, right? Like just for an extreme example, if you're wanting to overhaul your health, but you're, drinking wine every night, those may get in the way. So as I started saying a second ago, we can't have both at once. You can't have thriving health and also be maybe drinking every day, eating tons of food out and processed, not exercising, whatever else. This is not in judgment. This is like in fact and science. Like you cannot have two realities at once. You can't be broke and also abundant. You can't be, in low health or low self-worth behaviors, wanting to have higher self-worth, wanting to have more magnetism. And that's really what it comes down to. That's actually the core of what we all deal with, is we're looking for a life that has a higher amount of self-worth than we currently have. Some of you will be able to take that in. Some of you, it may be something you'll revisit, because it really does come down to that. We manifest from what we feel we're worthy of. But anyway, so this big shift you're going through, you're called to shift up behaviors. You're called to shift up maybe people you hang around, pastimes, habits you have. You may feel the need to have more social media detox or more alcohol detox or cleaning up your diet or spending more time in solitude and quiet. Maybe you're coming back to meditation, or you've completely shifted careers. These things are very normal in a shift. And what we need to learn to be able to do is to, number one, what I do with my clients is have them get to know their true authentic self, which is who you are underneath the programming, your essence, which involves your truest, youest you, your core desires, also your gifts, and your natural confidence that comes from spirit. So starting to get in touch with your real self under the programming, starting to spend more time with low stimulation, more time in nature, more time in quiet, so that you can start to hear your inner voice more. In this shift, you're going to be asked to release, and that can be the scariest of all. But we pray, if you do that type of thing, to your guides, to your angels, to your higher self, to your future self, to, of course, God or universe. We pray and we ask for strength as we release things. We ask for strength as we have hard conversations. We ask for, conviction and focus in our journey to stay in the light and to stay true to who we are. It will require some sort of boundaries, some sort of pouring back into you. So in this shift, the best thing you can do is really get to know you. And you will probably, as I mentioned, be called to healing work, because we are an accumulation of what we've been through. When you have a mother wound, when you have abandonment shit, when you have low self-esteem, you don't have to dig in that forever, but we need to start to realize that's not who you truly are, but it deserves honor because it's what you've been through. But it's not who you are. You don't need to carry that forward, but we honor it because it is what you've been through. If you were to write a memoir, that is your story, and it got you to where you are, even through the shit. So we don't need to take the negative from it, the stuff that we've believed because of our past, like I'm not enough, or I will never, or I'm no good at, they don't get me, I'm alone. These types of things we can learn to heal and release and step into the opposite, step into feeling supported, feeling confident. That is what the shift is asking us to do, is take our old shit and transform it into the new empowering part of us that is moving forward. So in this shift, there are two things that are calling you to make sure that you're nurturing or addressing. Number one is what do you want? What do you want more of? What do you want to manifest? What do you want to experience going forward? This is how I talk about with my clients and in Quantum Magic, which it's not too late to join if you want, the link is below. But we talk about future casting. So there is a part of our growth journey where we need to be looking forward. What do I want to experience more of? So this is where you could have very specific goals, if that's what floats your boat. If you have very specific things you're calling in, it could also be what you desire to feel, how you desire to be in a year, in 6 months, in 3 months, more freedom, more expression. Maybe it is a business, maybe it's making more money. We really want to look at what do you want? And that can be a really hard question at some points in our lives. And I know even I'll have clients come to me and they describe their life and what's going on. I'm like, okay, what do you really want to move into? And that's a hard question. We can think, well, I don't want debt and I don't want to be in pain and I don't want, okay, so what do you want? Okay, I want overflowing abundance. I want vitality in my body. I want fucking freedom in my life. I want to share this life with someone. I want love. I want community. This is where we start focusing on what we want. That's prong one. Prong two is, what do I need to release? What is at the opposite end of the spectrum that we are currently playing out? Things that are activated in our body, in our system. So there is the healing work where we want to address our core wounds. I mentioned at the beginning on The Path, the private podcast, it has my entire methodology, including deep dive trainings on healing and reprogramming those core wounds, because we can't overlook that. The good news is we don't have to stay in healing work forever. We get to also do that future work, that excitement work, that manifestation work, but we can't overlook the releasing of the old. So, this is where we quote unquote do the work. And we have to be looking at those two prongs. So say I'm going through a huge shift in my business. Spoiler alert, I'm going through a huge shift in my business. Oh my goodness. I can't fully share, but I'll share a little bit. And it equally is asking me to let go and to step into something new. Equal parts. And so on any given day, I'm like, okay, this is the letting go. And then they're like, yes, okay, and I'm going to do this, and that's the stepping in. Days where I'm like, oh my goodness, I can see it, and I'm going to do that and this. And it's like, woohoo, future casting. And then other days where I'm like, holy shit, can I do this? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And that's what everything is doing to us, right? A shift in career this time right now is exciting and scary. I do recommend getting around like-minded people, because even a bestie that's going through an awakening journey, or, when my clients are working with me, sometimes they're saying like, you're the only person I can talk to about this shit. So if you are looking, I have a couple spots over the summer for VIP mentorship. But community, right? Maybe going to your yoga studio, looking for events in your town, really doing what you can to be fueled in this direction, because it can feel very lonely out in the 3D world when you're going through an awakening and you're going through a giant shift and everybody only knows you as your old self and nobody knows you yet as your new self, and you don't even know you yet as your new self, but you know what you want and you want to experience something bigger. But then you look in your life and everything's calling you back into the old identity. That is so normal. That's why it is tough. So from here, because I clearly could talk about this, there's so many angles. This is literally what I do. Yes, I teach manifestation, but really I teach the art of transformation. So through this time, there's a few key things I want you to know. Your triggers are coming up to show you what is no longer working. Even if the triggers of like, oh my God, I thought I'd be farther ahead by now, or what the fuck am I even doing? Or who am I to have a business? Or feeling not good enough in your body. Anything that's coming up right now is coming up to show you this nugget, this block of energy is something that needs addressing, healing, releasing in order to move forward. That's why it's coming up. The next thing I want to say, so in addition to your triggers are showing you exactly what you need to release and transform in order to move forward, the second thing is that those big wild dreams and ideas you have that right now seem kind of freaking crazy are where you're headed. So start getting comfortable now with like, yeah, you might be starting a business in the next couple months, or you might go vegan for a month to try it out and cleanse your body. You might start exercising in a totally new way. You may take a certification in something that you had never thought of or that you'd never had the bravery to do. Life is going wild. So right now, those big ideas, like imagine hiring a one-on-one mentor to help you with this, or taking, these examples, a totally new certification to totally change up your business, or really boldly stepping into a new direction, a new path, starting that blog, starting that podcast, going for a year of traveling and just F it. Those big things that are calling you, they are what you will end up going through if you keep on the path of this self-growth, which of course you will. So start dipping your toe now, start flirting with it now, because it is what you're moving into. And when you get into it, you'll be like, I don't know why I was so scared. This is awesome, right? Like, I wish I would have done it sooner. And there's no blame. There's no shame. It's all in divine timing. But I want you to know that your triggers are coming up to show you what needs to be changed, morphed, and released, because you are going through a refinement like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond, right? So you are being refined. You're being buffed out right now. But our ability to move forward is our ability to go, this thing right here isn't working. Or for me, sometimes I get into such big goals and then I crumble into like feeling alone, like nobody gets my big goals, or, I don't know how I'm going to do it. And it becomes overwhelming. And that energy of like, I feel alone, I feel overwhelmed is the thing that needs love. It needs my own tools. So that's what I do is I do my own work. I stabilize my nervous system. I look at what's under that, the fear that's under that. I reparent myself. I go for a nice walk. I do some Kundalini or some breath work, and I keep moving on. But when we get triggered, often we go like, you're right, I can't do it, to our inner voice, right? Or yeah, who am I to do blah, blah, blah? Or everyone's going to think I'm a weirdo. Everyone's going to not get me. I can't stand that. And we stay in the triggers. So number one, your triggers are coming up to show you through this door is your dream life. Through this door is the thing that you've been asking for. Second of all, those nudges, those inklings, those callings are where you're headed. And it's truly up to you how quickly you want to take action on them, how quickly you want to be brave and shift directions and start looking into it. And I always like to say to my clients, if you get an idea that you're going to be like starting a business, you can start tomorrow. And you can also start with Googling things or looking up on YouTube, like how would I start a healing business? Like just dip your toes. It doesn't have to mean tomorrow you're buying a website and putting up all your services and you've gone from, 0 to 60 overnight. But you can start shifting into it. The things that are calling you, maybe quantum manifestation or astrology or human design, start looking into things more. Fuel those passions, those sparks of interest, those nudges and notions you have. And if it involves being brave, if it involves investing in yourself or spending time or risking everyone going like, what the hell is going on with her? Is she okay? Know that your dream life is on the other side. So what is the cost of not doing it? What is the cost of not shifting? What is the cost of not being brave? Of not going with whatever the hell is going on right now that is morphing you into who you truly are? Because we're not getting to be anyone different. We're not moving in to change ourselves. We're not like moving into a new person. It feels like it. But it's actually who we are under that programming, under those limits. It's the true part of us. And that is this journey of awakening, is getting back in touch with who we truly are. The unlimited potential around us, the source consciousness within us, our intuition, our purpose. Because our purpose, which is ultimately what the awakening is bringing you through into, is not just something you do, as in a business or a profession. Our purpose is to be us. And from there, old souls like you and I are often called to help others, but it's with our you-ness. It's the you-ness that helps others. So if, I know yoga teachers that I go into their class and guaranteed I'm going to be bawling or have like a transformative flow. And then other teachers that the flow was nice, but it wasn't really like oomph. So that one teacher that took you on a freaking journey, that is that person bringing their purpose, bringing their magic to their job, to their profession, because you are the secret sauce. When you are being you, you are ultimately being in purpose. So the awakening journey is the refinement journey of stripping away what you are not. Stripping away the limits, the programming, the shit that is not actually you and will not help you and take you to where you're going. So ultimately, in this lifetime, your soul is hoping that you step into full purpose, which is your full magnetism, which is your full divine, deliberate creator ability and who you truly are. And from there, you bring your gifts of empathy or intuition, or maybe it's something more tangible, like you're really good with building things or really good with computers or really innovative or really great with design or whatever it is. Bring who you are to the world and you will be successful. Bring who you are to the world and you will be happy, business or not. When you truly bring like your gifts to your parenting, to your office space, to your relationship, to your community, when you bring who you are, magic happens. That is the purpose. So I don't know if I got off track here because it's all part of the journey, but this giant shift you're going through is a releasing what you're not so you can step into who you truly are and that vision you have in your mind's eye, my friend. That is the life that is meant for you, the one where you're healthy, the one where you're abundant, where you're happy, where you're helping others, where you're thriving and living life. That is a possibility for you in the very near future. And it will be determined on how you navigate this shift. So number one, your triggers are telling you something. Number two, go with the nudges you receive. Go with the new things that like spark you, even if they seem freaking crazy. Number three, know that this is going to pull you through, quote unquote, the work. Like it's not just a like tickety boo, 1, 2, 3. You're already deeply immersed. It's already the work you're doing. But just remember, it's going to continue to pull through. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to get into circles where you're learning about things or with a mentor or back to your therapist or trying something new to move through, because it is a big journey and you need support. And it's okay to have support, especially like-minded people going through it. Because this journey of awakening is so crazy and wild. So watch for synchronicities, watch for intuitive nudges, watch for places where you're being called to create boundaries or step into something new or do a little bit more healing. There's no shame in that, right? We're spending time in healing and we're spending time in future casting, in what we truly want. So this is kind of bringing me to combining it with the helping other people and all that. As you move through this, you will find that people are drawn to your magnetism. So it might be that you decide to go sober for a few months and friends are kind of going, what, you are? And then after a little bit, they're going like, what about that? And I'm kind of curious about this. Or you make a positive shift. You're taking supplements, you're getting up earlier, getting more sleep, and you're exercising. And people are going, what's up? Like, you're magnetic. What's going on? You look great. You feel great. Like, what's your secret? And people start to be drawn to you, especially because you have been through a lot. So some people have seen you in your rock bottoms, in your suffering, in when you're not glowing, rightly so, me too, right? So as people start to see you going like, wow, you're driving a nice car, you're like feeling really healthy and lit up and inspired, like what's going on? You will start to find that you end up impacting people even if you're not trying to. This is the stuff that shifts and impacts and inspires our kids, our family members, our friends, our partners. Sometimes telling someone what to do isn't the thing that actually gets them to change. But by you being the light and being the medicine, you will be shocked at how many people you inspire. And if you're a soulpreneur, if you have a business, which a lot of you do, or are very curious, like ready to help others, it comes through your ability to transform and go through your own stuff. Because if you're like me, I have always done that, where I'm like, I overcame an eating disorder, immediately went to nutrition school and started teaching people how to break free of diets and move into intuitive eating. And then I'm like, okay, overcoming like low confidence and low self-esteem and loving myself, I need to teach people how to do this. Okay, cracking the code on manifestation, I need to teach people how to do this, right? So whatever you're being called through right now, I have a feeling is going to end up helping many other people, whether you try to or not. And it may open the door, if you don't have one already, to have a business to inspire others. The internet is a crazy place, and we can create businesses making videos or blogs or posts or podcasts like I do, speaking our light, speaking our experience, helping others in a way that feels really good to us. So you're always being called through a shift for you and for the greater good of all. So as you go through this shift, remember the things I'm talking about today, that it's a refinement. It's not easy. It's asking you to let go and to move forward, get supported, know that your triggers are here to actually show you the way. Know that the nudges you have and the visions you have and the tingles you have, even if it's certain topics are interesting to you right now, go into those, listen to those, watch for nudges, watch for breadcrumbs from the universe. Notice the things that go ooh and like tingle you, and remember the impact, the cost of not doing it. I know that moving forward can be scary, but is it more scary than never moving forward? Than staying stuck in a loop forever? Because I know you're like me, and I know the thought of that makes you probably shiver into your soul, because your soul literally is like, nuh-uh, girlfriend. We did not sign up to stay stuck again in a loop. Because we've all done this in other lives where we never figured it out. We never overcame our childhood. We didn't crack our own code to unleash our magic, but not this time. You signed up for big things. You're going through a massive shift, and it's because magic is on the other side. Okay, so I hope that this resonated with you, and I have a couple of resources for you, including a free masterclass called The Goo Phase. I mentioned it in the episode here about how we're not yet where we were, but we're not yet where we're going, and that is the Goo Phase. This is what I'm touching on in this shift, and this is a masterclass that goes deep into it and gives you a lot of key pillars and things like how to move through the work, what to look for, what to know as you go through this huge awakening. So I want to pass that on below. I'll put a link for that, a free masterclass called The Goo Phase. If you are a soulpreneur, if you're someone who is here to help others, I invite you over to my brand new Instagram at Talia Joy on Purpose, as well as I have a free guide called the Soulpreneur Success Guide. I talk about, showing up in your business authentically, creating aligned offers, being consistent in your business, a whole bunch of hacks to really help you as somebody who helps others and helps you to be successful, create a business, create income and impact, all that good stuff. And then also I'll leave the link below to On the Path, the subscription podcast where I take you through the work step by step. And there's a lot of other goodies down there that I've got right now. Some mini courses. We've got Quantum Magic, which I mentioned a moment ago, which is all about quantum manifestation. We've got some sales going on. There's a lot down there. So I will see you down in the show notes, and I will also see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for your time and tuning into this episode. I really hope that it served you. And before you go, I'd love to give you a free workbook to help you upgrade your manifestation mindset. In this workbook, we're going to go through the 5 most common unconscious blocks that are holding you back. I'm going to show you how it's showing up in your life, and most importantly, the manifestation mindset shift that you need to unblock yourself. So grab the Manifestation Mindset Makeover free workbook now, and let's get to unblocking.